Do you guys want to know how I sold my junk removal business for $250,000 in just 2 years, and how you can build a sellable business, any home service business, not just junk removal? Keep watching. I'm giving away a $10,000 dump trailer and many more things. I am hosting a live virtual event again. If you missed the first one, we had 700 people live. It was incredible. We are finally going to be launching to the public October 26th. Louis Vandervolk of Blue Crocus Solutions is giving away another $5,000 website. Matt Fitch of Junk Blitz Pro is giving away a $5,000 website. I'm giving away a $10,000 dump trailer and many more things. Click the link in the video description to register for the live virtual event. As a side note, if you guys are interested in beta testing, check the video description down below. Beta testing will be going live this summer. I hope to see you at my live virtual event for the public launch of Autopilot. My course, 20 hours of content. You get complete access to me. You can book me whenever you want. You could call me whenever you want. You can text with me personally. If you guys want to join my private community, all of my resources in there. I have my pricing sheet, I have check-in, check-out sheets, my daily profit and loss, employee handbook, job interview questions, company recordings of 27 other companies and their sales pitch. I also have 100 call recordings of my call agents with real live calls of actual customers, my phone sales script, gig worker template, job ad that I post to get employees, and my Craigslist post to advertise my business. junklaunchbyjedi.com. Tons of awesome stuff in there, guys. So if you guys want to take your junk removal business to the next level, the link is in the video description down below. Let's talk about building a sellable business. This is important in so many ways because not only does it keep your business just structured and organized, but in the off chance you want to sell your business or get out of the business, you have the option to sell it quickly. Liquidating a business, getting rid of everything, or selling the business is a very hard thing to do. But if you follow these steps, you can make your business sellable. What if you find yourself in a pinch where you have a good business, you're making money, but what if you need $250,000? Or if you're in business longer than I was for more than 2 years and you hit the 3-year mark, the 5-year mark, your business may be worth way more than that. Maybe you can sell for $500,000, $1 million, $2 million. Maybe you just want to change your career path. If you don't follow these steps, it's gonna make it very hard to sell your business. Whether you think you're gonna be in junk removal forever or not, you never know. 20 years down the line, you might have a solid business, but you can't get what it's worth because you're not doing things right. I went through 6 months of hell trying to sell my business, and I did okay. I did okay with the paperwork, but I learned a lot, and we're gonna talk about it right now. There's really 5 topics that I wanna discuss on what makes a sellable asset, a sellable home service business, a sellable junk removal business. And the 5 things that we're gonna talk about today are: number 1, brand, bookkeeping, taxes, debt and equipment, and automation. Number 1, brand. Brand is the most obvious one. We probably don't need to spend too much time on this topic, but using myself as an example, I built a pretty good brand. Granted, it is around Star Wars. You know, I'm tiptoeing around potentially Disney getting pissed off and sending a cease and desist. But I talked to lawyers. We don't need to talk about that right now. But the point is building a brand. From day one, guys, you need to build a company name that is memorable, that can be Googled, people remember, people refer. You showed up uniform, you have branded billboard trucks everywhere, you have a great website, you're on every single platform, you are just discoverable everywhere. Save your customers into a database, use a platform that automatically asks for reviews, do SEO, and brand comes with consistency, doing community work, traditional marketing, online advertising. Putting your brand out there is probably one of the most powerful things you can do. And that's one of the things that really kind of separated me as well, was my brand. My brand was kind of blowing up in California. If you are not discoverable and you don't have a shitload of reviews, you're not on every platform, you don't have a YouTube channel showing you removing stuff, you get the idea. I would argue brand is the most important, but it's kind of hard to say that because we're going to talk about what's really important to make your business sellable. Brand will get the buyers, brand will attract the eyeballs, brand will get people in the door, but it's not what's going to sell them and take them to the finish line. The next 4 topics are so important or your business is not a sellable asset. Number 2, bookkeeping. If you do not have proper books, you're not going to be able to show the potential buyer the reality of what your business is making. You have profit and loss, also known as an income statement. You have cash flow statements, and you have balance sheets. These are the three most important documents when it comes to showing your business how much money it makes. When it comes to bookkeeping, these are so important, and the way to make these easy to use, you can use a service like bench.co, you can use QuickBooks, but here's the thing, you cannot commingle your funds, meaning you cannot just willy-nilly swipe your business card or swipe your personal card or transfer money ruthlessly between accounts. You need to try to be structured with your bookkeeping. Let's say you need $1,000 out of your business account. Try to only send $1,000 when you need it. Try not to send 10 and then 20 and then 50 and 100 here, 500 here, 1,000 here. These are called owner's draws. You can absolutely transfer money from your business account to your personal account, but you need to keep things clean. At the end of the month, you know how much money went to you versus how much money went to dump and gas and software. Try not to commingle funds. And this is where people get very messy with their money. Don't have multiple accounts. Try to avoid Venmos and Zells and Cash Apps and PayPals. Try to get a solid credit card machine like Clover. Watch this video here while I talk about Clover. So 95% of your money comes through the Clover machine. And here's the thing, you can log a payment with cash through the machine so that when you go to your Clover reports or your Square reports, it'll show all the credit cards, all the checks, all the cash. Now, what you might be thinking is, Andrew, no, I'm gonna hide the cash from the IRS. Okay, fine, you can do that, you can get away with that, but guess what? It devalues your company. You need to show all money earned, and you need to take all that cash and deposit it into your bank. So at the end of the year, we'll go into the next topic, we'll talk about taxes, but in order to get the highest value company, you need to play the game properly. And this whole hiding cash and playing the deduction game is only going to screw you. With that being said, guys, try to have one business credit card. Or it doesn't matter, you can have 2 business credit cards, but try to make sure that they're solid business credit cards so that you can track them with QuickBooks, you can track them with bench.co, and it's very clear where your money's going. You have a solid field service management tool to track how much money you're making and log all your expenses. You have one credit card machine, all your money's going into one bank account, so that one day when you have a buyer and they ask to see your bank statements, it's clear as day. And even Venmos and Zells going to your business account, try to avoid it, because when you have a credit card machine depositing the money consistently into your bank account, it looks more legit than just having all this random money all over the place. Try to be consistent with your bookkeeping and payment collection. And also, another thing about bookkeeping, this probably should have been its own topic, but be legal, be completely insured, and if you have employees, get them on W-2 as soon as you can, because that's gonna be a problem when you get buyers who are trying to finance through the SBA, Small Business Administration, which is the most common way for people to buy businesses is with an SBA loan. They're probably gonna get declined if you don't have W-2 insurance on your actual employees. Or some buyers, they might be hesitant to buy because you're 1099ing them and you're playing in the gray area. So you need to get off the 1099 bullshit as soon as you can and pay actual workers' comp, pay actual insurance, play by the books. Bookkeeping is so important, and it's not hard, guys. You can do it yourself at the end of the day, at the end of the month, at the end of the week. It's not hard to do your QuickBooks or just hire bench.co for $300 a month. That's extreme, but that's what I did. But you should use bench.co if you have the money. The big one, guys, number 3, taxes. So this is probably the most important. I'd argue bookkeeping is important too. They want to see a clean trail of money, where it's coming from and where it's going to. The buyer who bought my company wanted 12 months of bank statements. I gave them access to the Clover credit card login so they can see the Clover machine and all the transactions, and they matched it with the bank statements. So you can see bookkeeping is very important, but taxes are equally as important. Here's the thing, a lot of people like to play the deduction game. The deduction game is, you know what that is, deduct everything that you can to look broke on paper. So let's say you did $1 million and 200K was profit. You take 50K to pay yourself, and the other 150K, you're like, fuck it, let's go buy 2 dump trucks for 150K. So then you only owe taxes on the 50K. And you'll figure out the taxes on that 50K later, because you just spent the 150K on business assets. So now you look like your company only made 50K. Here's the thing, you can only sell your business for a multiple of what your business profited. So if on paper you keep looking broke, you're not going to sell your business ever for what it's worth. you need to actually report to the IRS what you make. Which I know, guys, it sucks. You're gonna have to pay taxes. If you guys want tax tricks, hit me up. Type in tax tricks down below. Not really tricks, but I mean, you can kind of defer tax payments and it won't, whatever, we'll talk about that later. Point is, guys, is you need to show on paper what you're making, because at the end of the day, your business sells based on your tax returns, and your bookkeeping backs up your tax returns. The more things that we discuss that you have in place, the more valuable your business is. Home service companies sell at a multiple of profit. So if you do 200K at the end of the year, you can sell for 1x, 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x. I don't think home service businesses are gonna go much over 5x unless you've been in business for like 10 years and you got multiple locations. This is just in my experience running a small home service business, working with my broker in my state, what I learned. I sold at 1x because I was a young company. Let me tell you this, the more taxes that you have, tax returns that you have, the more years, the more you're worth. If you're under 3 years in business, which I was, you're only gonna get a 1x return unless you have something like a lot of equipment, a lot of assets, or your brand is ridiculous. Maybe you get 2x, maybe your margins are just retarded. But it's safe to say, if you're under 3 years in business, you're gonna get a 1x multiple. So your business is not worth what you think it is. And this is assuming you have all 5 things in place. So guys, don't cheat your tax returns and file your tax returns and have more tax return history. The more history you have, the magic number my broker told me was 3 years is the minimum I would have gotten 2x. So if I would have stayed in business for 1 more year, I could have gone from 1x multiple to 2x multiple. Unfortunately, I didn't want to wait another year. I wanted to build my software now. So I could have maybe gotten, instead of 225, the first year was slow, but if I had 2 years of solid tax returns showing over $1 million, I could have probably walked with 400K. Now, if I would hit the 5-year mark, that's where you start getting closer to 3x, okay? Are there variables when it comes to this multiple? Yeah, how much repeat business? What are your margins? Yada, yada, yada. But this is a good rule of thumb. Guys, you're not selling your business if you're lying on your tax returns. The end. You want a sellable asset? Play by the fucking rules. Number 4, debt and equipment. In my case, all of my equipment was paid off except for the F-150, which had a $40,000 balance. And I was able to tell him, hey, this location runs itself, but you have to take over the loan for this truck. And I know other people who sold their junk removal business and they took over the loan too. So unless you don't have some incredibly ridiculous equipment loans or car loans, truck loans, whatever, they'll assume the loans. So depending on how much debt you have, long as the debt makes sense, because that debt makes you that money. For example, that F-150 ran my Ventura location. That $1,000 payment made 50 grand in revenue. You just have to let the buyer know, like, hey, I have this truck for this location, this truck for this location, a couple trailers, but it all makes sense. Now, if you have a lot extra equipment, that might go into your value of how much your company's worth. So I only had 1 dump truck, a couple trailers, and a truck he had to take over. So there wasn't extra inventory. He had just enough equipment to run the business. But if you start having extra inventory, more than needed to run the business, you can probably add the assets on top of the sale price. Now, I couldn't add my assets, even though I had a dump truck and 2 dump trailers paid off in cash, like 60K of equipment. I couldn't factor that into the sale price because he's assuming debt on 1 truck. And you kind of need this dump truck to run this location. Now, like I said, if you had way more inventory, you could factor that into the sale price. Last but not least, making a sellable business. I did a video here, how to automate your business. Guys, the more automated your business, the more it's worth. If you're selling a junk removal business and you're selling a job, you're not gonna get as much. I sold a business. It pretty much runs itself. Now, he needs to still be an operator, but he doesn't need to be on the truck. The company is more valuable the less detached from the company you are. There's a big difference between self-employed, the business owner. There's no difference between an employee W-2 versus somebody who quits the rat race in the W-2 and then becomes self-employed. You're working, if not more, but you get to kind of gauge and decide what you do, when you do it, but you're working just as much. You went from one rat race to another rat race. The true path to wealth is going from self-employed rat race to crossing over to business owner. Most people get stuck in the self-employed rat race, entrepreneurship, and granted, it's much better than clocking in for somebody else, but you're still working a lot of hours. Now, the more you automate your business, the more you detach yourself, the more valuable you are. You know, that is a very hard thing to do in junk removal, and I talk about it in multiple videos. But the more you automate more of the tasks, get VAs, your lead flow, all kinds of things you can automate, even if you're still in the truck or you're on and off the truck, there's still a lot of pieces that you can automate to make your business more valuable. So guys, I wanted to make this video quicker than usual. I try to make this a little more snappy. Those are the 5 ways to make your business sellable. Start doing all 5 of these things as soon as you can. Brand, bookkeeping, taxes, debt and equipment, and automation. You focus on these 5 things, you can make your business worth money. So in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, you want to sell your business, you could sell it like that. Took me 6 months to sell my business, and I had most of these things handled. There was a couple things I could have done better where I could have probably sold the business faster. And honestly, I should have waited until 3 years to get 2x multiple, but I wanted to work on my software. So anyways, guys, this was a quick video on how to make a sellable asset. This is applicable to any home service business. If you guys liked what I just talked about and you have more questions, please just comment down below. And as always, guys, I leave you with this. Success is often covered in dirt, but so was gold at one point. Toodles. Whoopsh. I want to do something special for you guys. I'm really excited to be working with Levi, and I think this is gonna be an awesome experience for you guys. And you guys can watch it on Levi's channel here. Please go subscribe to him and follow the Jedi Junk Removal SEO Build in Public series. I'm proud to announce that we have gone public for crowdfunding. So you're actually going to be buying shares in Autopilot. You can invest as low as 500 bucks. You will also get 12 months free, which will more than pay for the $500 investment you make. So if you guys are interested, I will definitely make sure all of the links are in the video description. I will pin a comment, and if you have any questions, please ask.